Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been so incredibly hot. I have not been able to do any videos. It's just too much stress on me. The heat is just way too much. I can't be working outside in the sun. My garden is done. We've been having weeks upon weeks of triple digit temperatures. It's been unbearable and I'm fed up. That's why I got these now. These are DIY units by Mr. Cool. This one here is a 24,000 BTU single zone. This here is an 18,000 BTU dual zone. The dual zone is going to be heating and cooling these two rooms here. Each room is 375 square feet, total of 750. So, and this room here should be extra insulated, thus you see the insulation here ready to be installed. So these rooms would be, this should have no problem keeping these rooms heated or cooled. The 24,000 BTU unit is for this side of the room. This room is insulated, but it only has the 3-inch insulation that came with the building. Which is good, it works good, but it's not really insulated like I'm going to have these rooms here insulated with this insulation here. So I went with a little bit bigger unit for this side here. This is good for up to 1,100 square feet, so I got 750 on this side, plus some ceiling space. But I'm not going to keep this side of the building extremely cool. I mean, it could be 100 degrees out there. As long as it's about 80, low 80s in here and air conditioned, it'll be just fine. So we're going to be installing this here. Let me show you the website where I got this from. I tried a few different websites and they've all fallen short. One of them, they had some pretty decent selection. A lot of different buying options, different ways to pay for your AC system. But there was like a 10 to 12 days waiting list or waiting time prior to shipping, and I didn't want to go that route. I found a website that was better priced, and well, here, let me show you what it is. So this is the chillminisplits.com website. This is where I purchased the units. Here is all your DIY units. You can also buy the central air system, your standard central air AC systems, and accessories here. I have the single zone and the dual zone. Now you can get up to 5 zones on one outdoor unit, which is pretty darn good. I have the single zone here. It's the 24K. That's 24,000 BTU. The unit I purchased was a Mr. Cool. This is a Perfect Air DIY system, and this one here is the Mr. Cool. So this is the one I got. Comes with everything you're going to need for your single zone, your outside unit, your inside unit you hang on the wall here, and your inline sets, cables, and everything you're going to need. Your remote, and you can also use it with your phone. So there's an app you can download and use it on your phone to control it, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the nice thing about this website is that it tells you if the units are in stock and how many they have in stock ready to ship, which is really nice because I almost purchased from another website and they didn't tell me. I ordered it. They gave me a lot of different options to pay. I was going to pay by Zelle. What ended up happening was after I ordered it and I didn't pay for it yet, it said that there was a 10 to 12 day wait for them to ship it, and I didn't go for that. I didn't like it at all. So they didn't say that they had them in stock. Obviously they're going to have to order them. I didn't like that. So that's why I went to this website here, chillminisplits.com. So if you scroll down on their website, on the page here, it'll tell you the BTU, the one you purchase, and how many square feet it does. Scroll down, talks about the unit. The description here, it has a 7-year on the compressor warranty and 5-year on parts and warranty. Down here it tells you most everything you're going to need to know about the unit, how many BTUs for cooling and heating capacity it has here, the amperage, minimum and maximum amperage it's going to take for your breakers. So a lot of nice information here. So yeah, really good. I'm glad I found this website. They delivered it in like 3 days. It was unbelievable how fast their shipping was. And this lightning fast shipping is no joke. I ordered it and I waited 2 days for it and it came in. Alright guys, so the mounting bracket to mount this indoor unit is in the back here. All you do is remove a little Phillips screw from the back, and this unit you just pull on this, pull on that, and that's the bracket, and this is what we're going to use to mount on the wall. Alright, so what I've done here, rather than putting a full sheet of drywall on here, I just put a piece of drywall. This is 4 feet, so it'll hit all the studs here, just enough to cover the unit. The unit's going to go here. This way later I can go ahead and butt my drywall up against here, and the unit will cover most of this all up anyways, except for the ends here. Because I have to drill a hole here to put my line sets through, and normally you're supposed to go through to the outside of the building and then bring the line sets down to the outside unit. I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to bring it through here in between the wall and then out near the bottom here, because I'm under construction here, so it'd be actually easier for me to do it that way, and I won't have all this line to cover up on the outside of the building going to the outside unit. So this here is the template that they give you, a template of the mounting bracket. You can see it right here. You can't really probably see it in the video, but I drew a line here and a line here. This is 16 inches on center. That's where my studs are here, and this where this unit's going to be mounted. And I also drew a line here so I can see where the stud is. The holes where I know where I'm going to put the screws, I poked it through. So I'm just going to line up where the studs are. Now just get a pencil or marker and mark where my where I'm going to screw the screws in to hold the bracket on. And over here I have where the line set's going to go through. That also I have no mark because I have to drill a 3.5 inch hole here with the hole saw. Now I got to mark here, 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 and here where we're going to mount the mounting bracket. Okay, I got my mounting bracket, got my holes marked. You want to do is put a level on there and get it nice and level. The next thing I have to do is drill my hole where my line sets go out. Now remember, the template here had a area here where the line set goes out. So I punched a hole through here and I marked it with a pencil here. Now we have to drill this out. This is a 3.5 inch hole saw for about 90 millimeter.
Again, normally you would have your full sheet of drywall here, and this won't happen, of course. But after this is installed, the sheet of drywall is going to butt right up against here. No problem. All right, the lines that are coming out of the indoor unit are right here. Now what we want to do is bend these out, and then we're going to have to bend them down. You want to do it very slowly and carefully. And this here is the line for your condensation water line here. Alright, now I need to bend this down. So it's going to go through the drywall, and then it's going to be bent down. Okay, that should do it. Now we're going to put this through the wall and then connect this up on the wall. And of course you're going to have your communication lines, your power lines and all that to the unit. And we're going to get that all set up and ready. Now we got to put these lines through the hole, and I got to hook it up right here. Okay, looks like we're in. You can look through the top here and you can see where it clipped, and you heard it snap down here at the bottom. It snapped in, so that's on. That's perfect. The drywall will come right up underneath here and the plastic will just cover it up. Okay, so I'm ready now to connect my lines here and run my line in between the walls. Again, normally you would put this all the way through, these would be hanging outside, and then you would connect your lines on the outside, run them down the side of your house or your building or whatever to your unit. I'm running mine in between the wall, so I'm going to have to feed this between the wall here, and then eventually drill a hole somewhere over here and feed the line out to the unit. This line here is pretty flexible, but I mean, don't overdo it. Don't try and bend a 90 in there real quick. You might kink it. Very carefully put a nice radius in there as you're bending it. Okay, I'm just going to unwind this a little bit so I'll have a little more slack. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'll probably end up putting a hole here. This way I can feed this out here a little bit, bend it, and then push it right outside. Okay, I'm about to connect the lines here. They have caps on them to keep the junk from getting in there. Make sure prior to putting them on that they are clean. Just blow in there. Make sure there's nothing. There's some O-rings in there. Just make sure everything looks clean. You can't cross them because one is one size and one is a little smaller size. So you're gonna have to finagle it to get it to fit. Try not to cross the threads. Yeah, that feels good. Now, you're going to have to move the line around until you get those threads started. That looks good. Get this out of the way. So I'll put this on here just to hold it. And this one here is to tighten it. And you tighten it until it stops. That's it. Because what seals everything is that O-seal. Okay? Well, the O-ring, I'm sorry. Okay, we use the top one to hold it. And then the bottom one we use to tighten it up. Again, just tighten it until it stops and don't go any farther. Because again, it's the O-rings that seal, not how tight this is. Okay? Alright, so now I'm ready to bore a hole through my brand new building. Alright, on the inside, I measured where I want my hole to be between my studs. Because obviously I don't want to put a hole here and have it be right behind the stud. So I measured from the window. It's got to be between 50 and 64 inches. And obviously I don't want to put a hole here. So between the ribs, where are we here? Here's 50 and here's 64. So right in between here is perfect. And I wanted it about 18 inches off the ground. Right there. That puts me between the two ribs here of the building, and it puts me in between the studs inside. Once I drill this hole, I'm ready to put my, I'm going to put a little cement pad out here so I can put the unit on there, the outside unit. But I wanted to drill my hole first. I wanted to see the general area where this is going to be so I can place my cement pad on there. Now you don't have to put a cement pad. I was going to go put some cement blocks, like those 16 by 16 by 4 inches thick. Put a few of those down and use that and anchor that to the blocks, the unit onto the blocks. But I just decided to go to the cement pad route. So here we go. All right, so there's my hole right here. Now this here, they give you, this is supposed to go through the hole you put there to the outside, cut it to the length you want, and you put this on there like that, okay? Since I'm not doing it that way, but I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna cut this much shorter, probably this short, so to put it through the wall there and then put this little ring on the outside. What it's gonna do is keep the line from hitting the edge of the sheet metal I just cut in the metal building there, so you know, so it won't scratch up the line or anything like that. So this will protect it from that. So we're going to install this next. Okay, so what I've done here is I cut it and I hooked it up to that one piece that had bigger flange on it, and I put some sealant on there, put them together so it looks like a little top hat. Okay, so this is going to fit through here, and then I'm going to screw it onto here. I'm going to put silicone around there up against it so the water doesn't seep in there. I'm going to do that when I'm ready to connect the lines to the unit outside. Right now I'm going to concentrate on putting the cement pad out here, figuring out the exact location where the lines where they're going to connect. They're going to come out of here and right to the unit right here. So I got to have my pad right here.
All right, so what I decided to do here is I made a template, putting the holes into the cardboard where the base of the AC unit is. And I'm pushing into the concrete some, I think they're 5/16 bolts, head first into the concrete. And I marked them so at least 2 inches is sticking out of the concrete. I marked the bolts, that is, so they're sticking out about 2 inches. I decided to go this route rather than drilling into the concrete and then putting anchors in and all that. I just thought I'd try it this way. Now this bolt here, it seemed like there was a rock underneath there, or the concrete was starting to harden, so I had to just tap it down a little bit because it was sticking up a little too high. Now I have to drill a hole into the building for my AC disconnect box.
So this is the threaded electrical conduit, and I'm going to silicone this all the way around pretty good because I don't want obviously water getting in there. Okay, I'd rather have a little bit too much than not enough. Got my wires through here. I decided to use 8-gauge wire. In the manual it says to use 10 or 8. I decided to go bigger. You get less resistance that way. It's always best to go bigger on the wire. It's your breaker which will determine when the power gets cut off. So you got 2 hots and a ground wire. Both of these are going to carry 120 volts. In your ground here, we're going to hook up the ground to this. And the 2 hots coming into the box, we're going to put right here on these 2 center connections here. This is called the load. So we're going to connect it here. You can honestly do it on the outside if you wanted to. But we're going to connect these 2 hots to the middle ones. And the ones from the AC one connects here and one connects here. This is how you shut it off. If you look at this here, all electricity is doing is coming in here and looping back around into the AC unit. So we got the 2 hots here, and then it loops out to the AC unit. This is a little safety doohickey. So when the AC guy comes to do his repair, all he has to do is pull this out, and it cuts the power to the unit, and he doesn't have to worry about it. So in this particular one, if you put it on this way, it's on. And if you turn it upside down, it's off. But generally, just to be on the safe side, pull it out, stick it on top of the box, and do what you have to do. I don't have any power to this, everything's off, so we're going to hook up one here and one here. Doesn't matter which one goes where. And that's how it should look. Okay, so I'm ready to put the outside unit in. It comes with these little rubber pads. So I'm going to put these pads down here like this. And now we're ready to mount the unit. Okay. Got it. All right, so I'm super happy that these bolts that I put in here worked out really good. I stuck them out about 2 inches because I knew the pad was roughly a 1/2 inch. This leg here is roughly a 1/2 inch thick. That's an inch. So it's sticking out approximately an inch. That gives it plenty of room for washers and nuts and stuff like that. So I'm going to put a washer and a self-locking, what do they call these? These are the nuts that have that plastic in there to keep them from backing out. I'm not going to tighten them down real tight. I'm just going to snug them up because I did just pour this yesterday. And I mean, you shouldn't really have to tighten these things down that tight. You just snug them up real good. You just don't want the wind tipping these things over, that's all, if it gets really windy. Also, the clearance back here, the clearance from the back of the unit to the wall has to be minimum 12 inches. I got mine at 18 inches roughly, 1.5 feet. So that's going to work out really good. There's an arrow at the top here that shows you what direction the fan is going to be blowing the air. And as you can see here, I got the lines going right to where I drilled the hole in the building, right there. So that's going to work out good. So let me tighten these down and then we'll start connecting the outside unit here. Okay, I got the lines through here. Now we got to get everything through this little plastic piece. The drip water line for the condensation, I'm going to feed that through after. Okay, I got my lines through. This I'm going to connect later after I get this all set up. Right now, I got to take this cover off. I take these caps off. Okay, there's one. All right, again, you don't want to tighten these too much. Once they stop, just give it a snug and that's it. What I'm going to do is later put some styrofoam around, or foam like this stuff here around here. So before we get too far ahead here, I think I'm going to do the electrical first. Okay, so I got my wires from the inside unit through here. So we got the red wire, it says here number 1, and that's number 1 here. I'm going to pull this little protective sleeve back, and yeah, these are already unloosened. And we're going to put that under there like that and tighten that up. And do the same thing with number 2, the white one. Pull that protective sleeve back. And same thing with the black wire, which is number 3, and that's going to go at number 3 here. There we go. Okay. And then the ground is going to go here like that. So very simple. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Put those in here. And the green here. Now the main power, which is going to be next, that's going to come through here. And we're going to put line 1 and line 2 here. Those are the 2 hots. And it doesn't matter which way you put them, as long as each hot is on the line 1 and line 2. And the ground is going to go here. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is put in our electrical from the building to the unit. You can pick these up at the big box stores. These are all pre-assembled wire with the conduit connected to it. This is the company that makes them. I'm sure there's other companies that make them. Ultra Whip, pre-assembled wire with fittings. And this is an 8 gauge, okay? Depending on what you need, you can get it in different sizes. This is a 6-foot length. I'm gonna have to cut this. One end is straight and the other one has a 90. So the straight end's gonna go where my AC disconnect is, and then the bent 90 degree is gonna go from here to the box. So it's just going to be a short piece. So I'm going to pull the wire out of this, cut the conduit to length how I need it, and then put the wire back through and cut the wire as I need it. Alright, so I just realized that this is 1 inch here, and this is about 3/4, I think it is, so it won't go. So rather than me changing this and going to a 10 gauge, I think the 10 gauge conduit has a obviously it has a smaller end here. I'm not going to go to 10 gauge. I'm going to stick with my 8 gauge here. So what I did is got a step drill here, You can pick these up at Arbor Freight, they're cheap. But a step drill is just as the word implies. You step to go to the next size, bigger hole. Great for sheet metal. I marked it in black here with a marker to 1 1/8 because a 1-inch still, it's a little small. So yeah, I need to do that. Let me check it out here. Okay, it'll work right there. I don't have to go. So I went to the 1-inch mark, and that worked out good. So I'm going to cut my conduit, put that piece in there, and I'm going to leave a little slack about right there. Then we're going to cut this. Okay, I shortened up the conduit here, the flexible conduit, put my wires through. Now both ends, you have to twist these ends in like that. They kind of like thread inside of there, and it seals it up from water getting in there. Now we're ready to feed the wires through. Now I'm going to obviously have to cut this wire because I got too much. That's going to go on there like that, and put my locking nut on there, cut the wires, and connect them to the L1, L2, and the ground. Okay, so here we got the communication line coming in to the unit. We got 1, 2, and 3 wires. The number 1 is red, white is 2, and 3 is black. And that goes to 1, 2, and 3 here. And your ground goes to where it says ground here. Then power coming to feed the unit, you got your 2 hots here, which is line 1 and 2, and the ground, which is coming out of here, goes to the green screw that's in there, and that's to the chassis of this unit here. Alright, next we have to take these caps off. And inside there's like an Allen head. This is a valve actually. What we're going to do is we're going to open these valves up, both of them, and it's going to let the refrigerant out into the lines and get the unit ready. So we're going to put a wrench in there and start opening the valve. Okay, and it stopped. Same thing with this one. I can hear the refrigerant moving around in there when I did that. Okay, and it stopped. Now we're going to put our caps back on. We're just going to snug it up. Don't have to tighten these. There's no reason to tighten it. And that's it. Now we're going to check for leaks. I got some soapy water, and you want to squirt the soapy water all over the connections, and see, and look for bubbles. Looks good. Okay, we're good here. Now we got to check the inside too. Okay, here's the lines. We're going to squirt some soapy water on there. And when I say soapy water, water with a little dish soap, that's all. And we look good. No leaks. Now, after I test the system and everything looks good, then I'm going to wrap this. There's some special stuff I'll show you on how to wrap this up. Okay, so we are ready. This is a 30 amp breaker I put in here. That said on the manual up to 35. So I chose 30, which is good. We're going to flip this on and check out the unit. Before I forget, there's this little USB looking thingy right here. This plugs into the inside of the unit, and this will allow it to connect to your phone. I'm assuming it's Bluetooth or something, I'm not sure. So you can use the app to control this also. Now when I turned the breaker on, I heard a beeping in here. Okay, I can't lift this up much. About right there. Anyways, there's a spot up here, you'll see it, where it connects. And it pushes right in. Now we got the remote here. I put the batteries in it. It does come with batteries, but it's not in the unit. It's in a little baggie. So let's turn it on and see if this works. The fan just kicked on. I don't know if you heard it. Oh, thank God, I finally have air conditioning. Oh, that's nice. I kind of got worried. I turned it on, it was on auto, but the outside unit didn't kick on yet, or it didn't kick on at that time, and then I pushed the mode to cool, and then it kicked on. It probably would have kicked on since it was on auto, but, so yeah, it works good. Oh, wow. It has a turbo mode. I'm going to try the turbo mode here. This is the remote. It's got the turbo mode right here. Oh wow, the fan really kicked on. Faster, I mean. Yeah, it's really coming out now. Woo! I guess I'll leave it on turbo mode for a little while to get this place to cool down a little bit. Now it's just a matter of wrapping these lines up here. There's a special, it's like a sticky tar kind of rubbery paper, not a paper, but it's kind of, here, let me show you. Okay, so this is the line that's getting cold and condensating. Let me wipe it up real good. Now we're going to put the sound deadening material on there. And we got one more. Yeah, it does quiet it up. Not as loud anymore. They do give you some rolls of this tape, but it's not sticky tape. It's more like just a plastic ribbon, basically. We're going to start up here and just wrap the whole thing real nice. Okay. They gave you this sealing clay, but I'm also going to use this big gap filler spray foam. So, but I also have the caulk behind here and screw this onto the building. Just want to put a bead of caulking around there. I don't want water to come down in there. Okay, I got my drip line here that's dripping really nice. So that I'm gonna probably hook up under here and just let it drip right on the ground here. But right now I have to seal up this hole here. Now they give you this clay or putty. I guess it is enough. Kind of fits in there, and squish it around. So I'm going to put just a tiny bit in here, not a lot. There, that'll work. Just a tiny bit, because remember, the stuff expands. So I got the outside wrapped up. This here, I'm going to get some foam later and wrap it, and then wrap the rest of it up all the way up to here, so you don't get as much condensation. This is all sealed up nicely, and it looks like I'm all set here. Hopefully this will give me many more years of heating and cooling. Oh, this feels so incredibly good. When it's triple digits out right now, like it is now, wow. This is nice. It's been about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so this thing's been running, maybe an hour. And there's a noticeable difference when you walk in here. It's really nice. Now remember, this is for a up to 1,100 square feet. This whole area is 1,500 square feet. So, and I have it on turbo, which is high. So when I get my other 2 units in and these other 2 rooms sealed off, this will have no problem in here cooling this place off. Whew. So everything is nice and wrapped. Everything looks good. Sorry for the long video. Hope you guys learned something about putting one of these in. There's lots of good videos out there, and much shorter than mine. But it's a little detailed, so it's good. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.